Hello, and welcome to the Real Esteem Podcast, the Marriage Monday edition. Today we're going to talk about how finances affect marital relationships. So stay tuned. Many people ask the question, why do we have so much divorce in the world today? Why are couples not staying together? Even, one thing that amazes me is even couples who have been together 20, 30, 40 years and then they divorce. And I really have a hard time wrapping my mind around the reasoning. They had to have something of value when they were together or that brought them together and kept them together that long. But you still see a high rate of divorce even in older couples, and the reasoning is very difficult to explain, but got to speak to a friend of mine and asked him the question of what are the major causes of divorce. And the gentleman told me, he said, number one, finance, number two, communication, and he said number three is infidelity, in that order. So what we're going to do over the next 3 weeks in this podcast is talk about finances, communication, and infidelity. We're going to kind of try to knock out some of the reasoning behind the cause of divorce. So just as a note, the median length for a marriage in the U.S. today is 11 years, with 90% of all divorces being settled out of court. The divorce rate among highly educated couples is 11%, while the divorce rate for lower income couples is 17%. So finances has a big part in keeping a couple together, helping them understand. I would love to say, let me say this, the way we handle money, the way we think about money has probably the most effect on a marriage. So let's go to the scripture. Ephesians 5:33 says, however, let one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. First and foremost, when you're dealing with finances, you have to have an understanding of finances, but you have to have an understanding of each other. We're all raised in different households with different mindsets, different rules and regulations, different boundaries and limitations. We have different mindsets. So when we come into a marriage, we have to remember that we are not the same. We don't think the same, and we have to find out how to balance that out to achieve the goals that we both have. Now, there may be issues that we have. We may be overspenders. We may be lackadaisical in paying bills on time. Whatever the situation is, those discipline issues need to be handled amongst you, and you need to kind of come to a consensus of how you're going to handle finances. When you do that, your eyes can be open on how you can enhance your marriage as opposed to fighting all the time over the finances. So really, you have to get a handle on how you're going to budget, how you're going to spend, what you need. Even when finances are low, it does not have to degrade your marriage. A lot of people allow it to because they put too much emphasis on that over the love and care they have. So if wives would respect their husbands and husbands really truly love your wives, a lot of the financial issues can be handled together without a lot of drama. You just have to do what you need to do to make things happen. With that being said, 1 Timothy 5:8 says, but if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for the members of his own household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Make sure you take care of one another. In a marriage and your kids, your goal and job is to make sure you take care of one another. You have to do what's necessary to make sure everybody's fed, clothed, housed, and the needs that they have are taken care of. I'm not talking about all the wants. Make sure that the needs are taken care of. The financial arguments can go out the window as long as each one of you know that your goal, you have the same goal. Your main goal is to make sure that everybody in the household is taken care of. Lastly, 2 Corinthians 9:10-11 says, He who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will supply and multiply your seed for sowing and increase the harvest of your righteousness. You will be enriched in every way to be generous in every way, which through us will produce thanksgiving to God. So your mindset has to be that you're going to be a giver. If a husband is a giver, he's going to make sure he gives to his wife and his children. He's not going to withhold or hold back. He's going to do everything he can. Even if it's not financial, if he can find a way to provide for them, even if he has to do extra work, his goal is to provide. If you do not provide for your family, God looks at you and says, hey, that's crazy. You've got to take care of your family. Number two, he's going to give seed to those who give. So your mindset has to be that I am a giver. I am going to not only take care of my family, but I'm going to give to the things that help my family feel better about life and grow. And we want to sow into things that we want to grow in. So if you have the mindset to be a giver, you are placing yourself in a position of wealth. Everything that you sow, you will reap in some form or fashion. So open your mind up and allow yourself to love your wife, to care and respect your husband, and to remember to take care of your family. That is the goal. I believe most families have that set as the main goal. I hope you got something out of this today. Be blessed. Grace and peace.